One of the single biggest mistakes you may be making on your first date that will immediately turn your date off. Hey guys, welcome back to 5nothing100nothing.com. I am Fugget. That stands for the fittest underdog guru using your noggin or intelligent tactics. Guys, all right, let's talk about something, all right? First dates. You have first impressions. Maybe you saw them on a dating app, maybe it's a blind date, whatever it is, you really don't know this person yet. And so you're probably a little bit nervous, they're a little bit nervous, and you want to make your best first impression. And what do they say? First impressions are lasting impressions, okay? So a first date should be fun, easygoing, right? You want to do something, whether it's a dinner, a coffee, ice cream, a walk in the park, whatever, right? Dinner, whatever it is, whatever you two are into that you've mutually agreed upon being that first date, whatever the setting may be. And it's a mutual interview, you know? You're not trying to overly impress them because you may turn them off if they could tell you're trying too hard and you're trying to sell them on you. And if someone's trying to sell you hard, what happens? You usually get turned off because you think, well, this feels like a snake oil salesman. See how I started over snake? Snake oil salesman. That is kind of a tongue twister. But it should be, it should stay relaxed, you know? You should be engaged and engaging. So that's a really good time to connect and find out who the other person is in a pretty light-hearted way that's not really intense, okay? Now, let's say that, you're being playful, you're exchanging a little bit of banter back and forth, and, you start to get engaged with the person, and you have, basically, it's, basic info that's exchanged back and forth. Now, sometimes the conversations can get more intense and more in depth, right? The layers of the onion start to get peeled off. And that should happen very organically. It shouldn't be something that is super intense where, you're sitting there trying to figure out every little thing about this person. Am I wasting my time here? Like you go in with a chip on your shoulder, so to speak. And I've had those dates where they lead with everything that has been wrong in their life up to this point. And it's immediately puts you on the defense if your date is doing that to you. It's like, wow, they've been burned before, this is pretty bad. And, you see somebody who seems, whether they are or not is irrelevant, but the first impression is, wow, they're broken. They're really pissed off at the world here. But if you do have deeper conversation, it should come organically, and it may or may not happen on that first date. But the big thing is it should not be forced, okay? So you might be the one making these mistakes. Maybe you've made them in the past, and hopefully this content will help you not do it again in the future. Post-lockdown dating advice. So, the big mistake, though, to really sum it up, is leading with intense and firm deal breakers, okay? So if you've been somebody who cheated on you, you're like, why are you a cheater? Or I don't like cheaters. I don't like liars. Well, no, who does like that? You don't have to say those things. It immediately gives too much information into how maybe your new world has been shaped and some of the things and challenges and hurdles that you're going to make them clear because of the mistakes of people in your past, okay? Conditions based on your hurts, your baggage from past relationships. You don't want to lead with that and have somebody have to feel like that it's an uphill battle, like they're going to have to work overtime and not just be a normal person, because they might be the greatest person in the world, but you don't know it because the last 2 or 3 people you've been with have all exhibited bad behavior, right? So this might be the one, but you'll never know now because you just immediately turn them off, put them on guard. And if they're balanced in a whole person, somebody who could be a really good partner for you, now they're watching like walking on eggshells, and maybe you feel that they need to overcompensate for things that have happened in your past when they had nothing to do with it. Okay, now on that note, you can see what, because you've had experience, if you've been burned or you've got, some bad experience with people or people exhibited bad behavior, you now have a reference point, and that can work to your benefit, where you don't necessarily have to say anything to them. You just have to observe their behavior, because if they know you're on guard and they do tend to have those exhibit those bad behaviors, they're going to hide those things from you, and they won't come out till later in some way when they either get real comfortable with you or careless. Then those behaviors will come out, and you want those to come out early. So bringing up those things is not going to help them, or to say, oh, you know what, you don't like cheaters? Well, I'm a cheater, I should go. Have a great day, can you get the check? You don't want that. You just want to be yourself. You want to be light, playful, get to know them, ask some, innocent questions that really just based on, your interests, the things you like, your work, and then see how things just naturally evolve. If you're sitting across from them and it's really awkward and there's nothing to talk about, maybe you don't have chemistry with them, and so you call it an early evening, get the appetizer, one drink, check, you're out the door. Remember, you guys, you're there to have fun, not to punish somebody you don't even know for the sins of exes past. Like, share, subscribe.